Hi, franchise. Welcome to the franchise. It's a Sunday here in insufferably hot New York City. And this is Daniel Ehrenberg, but I'm here talking to the H-Dog, the H-Bomb, Henry Madcap Papali. And he is turning 41 years old today.
That he is, ladies and gents. Thank you. Hold your applause till the end. That is right. Today is actually my 41st birthday.
That's right. And we got a lot of birthday messages from the listeners.
We did?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. That's
All
nice.
right. Let's see. To commemorate your birthday, Eric Nelson finally watched the movie Narc on your recommendation. Didn't care for it. Okay.
Thank you, Eric.
At All Terrain Biker says, Happy B-Day to Henry, the man who has undoubtedly the best picks. Hashtag, we need Henry's picks back ASAP.
Oh.
Henry, give him a pick.
Henry's picks, huh? What, was that a thing on the show where I just said Henry's
I think
picks?
a long time ago, when you recommended things, you would call them Henry's picks.
Wow, we've just done so many shows, I don't even remember. Henry's pick. All right, give him a pick real quick. Oh, boy. Oh, right on the spot. All right, well, I said it last week, but I'll say it again because it's still in my mind and I want to buy it. Go see Molly's Game.
Okay, Molly's Game, the latest Henry pick. Okay, David Gallagher says, Happy birthday, Henry. You should celebrate by watching Fitzcarraldo.
That is a superb idea, and tonight maybe I will. I think I got a pretty free docket on there. I got some other shit, but I don't need to watch any of that crap.
Are you caught up on Love Island?
All the way except for when Brandon tiki torches the island and Jessica watches.
No Brandon on that show, but there is a Brandon on Are You the One this season, and there is a Jessica on Big Brother, so you were close. We'll call it close.
Thank you very much.
All right, Danimal Control, our old friend, says, Happy birthday, Henry. You should celebrate by watching Blowout.
Oh, yes. Okay, yeah, got to put it back on the queue.
That's right. He says also he turned his friend on to us, and that guy wants to submit some picks, and he asks, what would we choose between Puppet Master or The Howling? It's funny how everyone wants us to cover horror movies.
They really love that.
Except for our good friend Josh Leamer with that sweet, sweet Aladdin pick. I loved it.
Yeah, sure. Boy, of those two, I think I'd go. I mean, they'd both be a hell of a lot of fun, but I've always been curious about The Howling.
Howling at least has like the one masterpiece. Like that first movie is great. But Puppet Master, I've never seen any of them. I know that the dude Greg Sestero from The Room is in one of them, so that's intriguing.
I think I have seen a Puppet Master one when I was a little kid. I think it might have scared me.
It's like Pod People, right?
I thought they were actually puppets that came to life.
Oh, is it?
Really? Thought it was. I could be totally wrong. That's what I thought.
So it's like it's like Demonic Toys.
That's what I thought.
Or Dolly Dearest.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I could be wrong.
Okay. God, Demonic Toys. That's a good movie.
Yeah.
Madison says, Happy birthday, Henry. Have a great day, for fuck's sake. All right. Mikey Graff says, Happy birthday. Jake Almond says, Happy birthday, Henry. And Shut Up Tim says, I like you. Happy birthday, Henry.
Well, thank you to everybody. That's very nice.
That's right. And lastly, just one more that I got today. At Lazenby Connery says, Henry's Jurassic Park franchise ranking is the most objectively wrong thing in the history of film criticism.
And that's what makes my opinion so great. I am capable of raising the ire of my listeners as much as the love. But sincerely, I want to thank everybody for all this. That's very, very nice. I didn't know that any of you did that.
You'd have known if you're on Twitter.
That's true, which makes the birthday present even more magical. And we're also trying a new thing tonight. We're trying, for the first time, an Ethernet connection. And I think we're both a little excited about that. Am I right, Daniel?
I think you're excited enough to bring it up on air.
Absolutely, I am.
Yeah.
We're hoping that goes well. I decided on my birthday. I didn't really want to go out today. I got to tell you, listeners, it's really fucking hot, as I'm sure it is a lot of places.
I don't know where you guys live. Maybe Greenland or Antarctica.
Right. Sure. Yeah.
But where we are, it hit 100 today, I think.
Yeah, I got in my car, and now temperatures vary, obviously, for car thermometers. Do you want to know what my temperature said that it was outside, Dan?
108.
118.
Maybe that was the real feel, Henry.
Sure, the real feel, but it's absolutely about 98, and I'm sitting with a tiny fan on me, so suffering, but only as I would do for all of you. So once again, thank you, everybody, and it is episode 162.
Damn it! I keep coming so close.
You are. You're very, very close. So I'm getting
close.
more impressed. And you were never even within double digits before. So I mean, this is pretty good.
I know. I'm getting it within one.
Yeah, I'm impressed.
All right, and Henry, we are a full 6.5 minutes into this episode. We had to celebrate your birthday, admittedly, but we have not talked about the films at hand.
That's correct. Today we will be discussing Three Men and a Baby, and its much anticipated sequel, Three Men and a Tiny Lady.
She's a little lady.
A little lady.
She's just a little lady.
Lay, count on her. And, yeah, so 87 and 1990, respectively. And I guess this one was the one that we postponed a little bit, correct, for Child's Play when we got that donation, right?
That's right. Logan Be Adair donated for that Child's Play coverage. And I'm glad we postponed this because I don't think we would have been able to see that last movie in theaters otherwise.
Yeah.
But, we have a donation coming towards us next week. We'll get to that at the end of the episode. But in the meantime, we're taking just a week for ourselves. A happy birthday, Henry week. And talking about two of Henry's favorite movies of all time.
Oh, yeah.
He chose them special. Three Men and a Baby, and Three Men and a Little Lady. Okay, so let's...
Now, none of that's actually true, but I don't want to spoil anything. Maybe I did like one of them. Maybe I liked both of them. But no,
Henry, I wouldn't be surprised if you fucking loved these movies. Are you kidding? This is exactly the kind of fucking white guy with a button-down shirt and a mustache. Like, it is unbelievable. I mean, this was the number one movie of 1987, and this was who was going to see movies in 1987. Fucking nerds. The same people that loved Lethal Weapon, like, the same people that are like, Lethal Weapon's better than Die Hard. Those are the people that love Three Men and a Baby.
We'll get there. I appreciate you saying how white I am. What did I want to say? Oh yeah, how did we pick this? It was one of those weeks, right, where it was up in the air, right? And I threw you a few picks. I think you even threw a couple, and then
we'd had fun doing something like City Slickers. We had fun doing City Slickers, so we wanted to do something like that.
That was it. Yeah.
So you might say this is the spiritual sequel to our City Slickers coverage. We take this the art of podcasting very seriously.
I always have.
Yeah.
So it only took me 3.5 years to try for a good connection. So I
get to think to buy an Ethernet cable.
To my credit, I heard the Ethernet cable is only a couple of weeks old as an invention. So that was cool.
Yeah, I hear Elon Musk just, snapped. Yeah. He cobbled it together.
Yeah. Good guy.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Elon Musk, of course, podcast Hall of Famer for his great appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience. Okay, Three Men and a Baby. It came out November 25th, 1987, the Thanksgiving weekend. This is just post-Thanksgiving, right?
November 25th. It depends on what Thursday it was. I
Yeah,
think that
isn't
depends
Thanksgiving usually a 21, a 22
Yeah, it's
situation?
like you're right. It's probably a post. Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably like Black Friday this came out.
Black. Okay, it's a little on the racist side. But, all right.
Maybe to Captain Cracker over there.
You already ruined your opinion of the movie. I can't believe you already gave it away.
I can't believe you.
I already gave it away.
I gave it away that it's fucking nerdy.
Oh, that's it? All right.
Which I will stand by.
Sure. Yeah. You were incorrect on well, I'll get there when you do the box office. Not quite accurate, but go ahead.
Okay, budget, $11 million. Box office, $297.8 million. 3 Men and a Baby somehow was the number one movie in all of 1987. That's what the fuck we were seeing back then. Now, we're like, put every superhero that's ever been in a movie in the same 3-hour movie that's going to tie up plot lines from every movie I've enjoyed in the last 10 years. Back then, we were just like, yeah, just put Steve Guttenberg, Tom Selleck, and Ted Danson in the same movie. We'll go see it.
Yeah, it fucking works, man. It's a lot easier to come up with this shit, I guess, right? You're just like, who are we going to get to direct it? It's a French movie original.
What do people like to watch?
Available?
What do people like to watch? Oh, Cheers and Magnum P.I.?
Yeah.
Get them.
Yeah. And throw in somebody who'll become a little bit cheaper.
Oh, did Don Johnson turn you down? Fine, Steve Guttenberg. You know what's crazy is Steve Guttenberg was the only movie star of the three of them at this point.
That's a very good point.
Yeah.
It's true. The other two just TV megastars, but yeah, you're right.
They were megastars.
Megastars.
I mean, Selleck wanted to be. They tried to get him into those movies.
Yeah, I thought about it. During the movie.
I thought about it too. He was like carrying a baby and it pooped in his hand.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, he was Indiana Jones. They wanted him. They wanted him to be Indiana Jones.
He wasn't interested.
No, he was interested. Magnum fucked him up.
Right. It was a conflicting...
I was doing some research on Selleck for this episode, and I just happened to read on IMDb that he, when Magnum P.I. ended, he got this, like, massive bonus from the studio, and he gave it away to the whole crew. He, like, bought everyone, like, cars or something.
That's kind of cool.
It's very cool, but I mean, you still have any love for the Magnum P.I. people after you lost out on that Indiana Jones job? I want to talk to anybody for the last 2 years I was doing that show.
You think you'd be pissed off?
I'd be salty still. I'd be sitting there on the set of Blue Bloods cursing the day that fucking the creators of Magnum P.I. were born.
Oh, man. One thing I always knew about Tom Selleck, because it's such a select group that are vocal about it. I don't know about currently, but he was always a very lifelong Republican.
That wouldn't surprise me. He's on Blue Bloods, which is a very Blue Lives Matter kind of a series.
Right. Yeah, I'm reading here he did not support Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton.
Oh.
But
led us to a great place, buddy. Whatever. Well, Tom Selleck wasn't influencing anything in 2016. There's another very popular Republican in this movie.
I know it ain't Ted Danson.
No. The girl who's also, the lady that Goldblum ends up with in Independence Day.
Is that who he ends up with? Is that Selleck's girlfriend in the movie?
No, it's not Selleck's, I don't think. It's someone else's girl.
Oh, boy, I don't remember.
Whatever. Anyway, she's like very vocal pro-life. I think her name is Margaret Collin, the actress.
No, that's Selleck's girlfriend.
Okay, that's Selleck's lady. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so they had a real nice time on the set, talking their hateful talk.
Yeah, I also noticed doing my superhero count, there were more than 2 or 3 people who were in this movie who were also on Magnum PI.
Ooh, well, he got some people at jobs. I will say Tom Selleck is the star of these movies.
He certainly is.
It is very weird because it's supposed to be a three-hander. The title of the movie is Three Men and a Baby, but like Ted Danson disappears for like an hour, and Steve Guttenberg, in fucking both. And Steve Guttenberg is just not the leading. He's like almost the comic relief in a comedy.
Yeah, he kind of is. I mean, are we gonna get right into it?
I'm just saying, it's a very strange situation to make Tom Selleck the star, the undeniable leading man of both of these movies. Well, it's also weird because the dad of the baby is Ted Danson. Yeah. So his relationship to the child should be the most interesting. Why do we give a shit about fucking Selleck?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, maybe there was just more confidence in Selleck as a movie persona. I don't know.
But why would there be? If anything, Guttenberg's the star.
Well, yeah. I don't know. You raise great ontological questions that I couldn't possibly hope to answer here.
Okay, I have so much more to say, but let's get into the director of this movie. How about that? This movie was directed by Leonard fucking Nimoy, Spock himself. All right, so let's. He was Spock. He's a very fine actor of some note. Great in Invasion of the Body Snatchers, and did some good work at the end of his career in both Fringe and those Star Trek movies for JJ. But his directing career, of course, began on TV. He directed an episode of T.J. Hooker for his buddy. But he directed his first features were Star Trek's 3 and 4, which were both very well received.
And those are good Star Trek movies.
4 in particular. 4 might be my favorite Star Trek movie.
4 is awesome. I love 4. And speaking of which, total side note, but you reminded me of something. For who was it that wanted a Henry pick real quick? Was it Madison?
No, it was not. It was. I'll look. It'll take 2 seconds.
No, you don't have to. I mean, it's. I have a Henry
all-terrain biker.
All-terrain biker. I have kind of a conflicting opinion on a movie I had never seen and had always wanted to. So even Dan doesn't know. Even Dan doesn't know I saw it. I decided to finally watch, because it was free and it was on demand. I finally watched Abel Ferrara's Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake.
Oh, you mean Body Snatchers?
Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
I was pretty disappointed.
Oh.
Yeah, I was thinking I was in for some sort of fucking modern masterpiece of horror, the way I heard about it.
Dude, it's not a modern masterpiece, but it rules.
I think it's good. I think it's got a lot of interesting shit in there, and I think the cast is really good. But I guess I was a little let down. It kind of made me miss the Sutherland version, which is still my go-to. But,
I mean, that's probably the best one. Honestly, Body Snatchers, the two best are the Sutherland one and the one from the 50s.
Right.
But, like, you know, I also really like Body Snatchers and even The Faculty, which is very similar.
Well, you didn't see The Invasion, right?
No, I skipped that one.
I saw that.
Was that terrible?
Oh, my God. Yeah, it's amazing. Happy ending, though, to the...
What do you mean happy ending?
That's all I remember. I remember that's the main thing in that movie. Spoiler alert.
Oh,
everyone gets their brains back and everybody's cool.
Oh, great. That's what that movie needed.
Yeah, we beat off the aliens. It's all
good. Sure. I don't know. Anyway, I like Body Snatchers, but I mean, it's third best at most.
I say if you haven't seen it, take a look out of curiosity, but I can't really put it.
It's like an hour and 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, it's very short.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really put it as a Henry pick. Unlike Narc. Sorry about that.
All right, Henry. Thanks for, apropos of nothing, interrupting the show to bring up a movie that I like and saying that it isn't good. I appreciate this hashtag content.
It's it's my birthday, so I'm giving a little more leeway here. I myself. Yes.
You are, I guess.
Not from you, from me.
Yeah. Okay, so after the Star Trek movies, Leonard Nimoy directed this. This was his third movie, so he's like the number one director on the planet. But then, like, he just never had a hit again. He followed that up with The Good Mother, which tanked. That was, he's trying to make a serious art piece with Diane Keaton there. And followed that up. You know, he was offered the chance to direct Three Men and a Little Lady, which would have been a smart thing to follow up such a disaster with. Right. But he chose to not direct it and instead direct Funny About Love with Gene Wilder, which tanked even worse.
Oh, boy. I remember. Wow. I haven't heard that movie title probably since it came out. Jesus Christ. Okay. Yeah.
Then he got one more chance to direct, and he chose to direct Holy Matrimony, which is that fucking movie where, like, little Joseph Gordon-Levitt marries an adult.
Oh, my God.
Do you remember that? It's a fucking comedy, and, like, the hook is, what if a kid married a lady? And then it's like, well, it's rape. That's the answer.
Was that on the bottom side of the poster? That was like under the credits.
yeah. There was like an asterisk next to the funny tagline, and we do not condone rape. That's what this movie's about. That movie made less than $1 million at the box office.
Ooh, Lenny. You know, Nimoy always had a nice little attic to go hide in, though, because he always had the Star Trek money to go back on, right? He was almost like a always safe.
I guess he could, but he could do like cons and shit. But like, they wrote him out of the Star Trek movies after Generations.
Well,
was he even in that? Maybe not.
I mean, they were all gone. The main cast after 6. I mean, as that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So he didn't give a shit. And then he came back for J.J. Abrams, man.
Fuck remember? Yeah, dude. Yeah, because they'd made buds with Fringe. He popped them on that.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, yeah, great memories. Okay, now Three Men and a Baby was written by the great team of Jim Cruikshank and James Orr, okay? And they're, of course, adapting a screenplay, the French film Three Men and a Cradle. Now, this was kind of a watershed moment for French to American adaptations of films. Three Men and a Baby was such a big hit that Hollywood, for the next, 10 years, was obsessed with adapting shitty French comedies.
I didn't even think about that.
Anytime there was a hit in France, we were knocking that baby out of the park. My Father the Hero? Yes, please. We'll even use the same lead actor, Gérard Depardieu. The Birdcage? Thank you very much. How about Jungle to Jungle? That was based on a big French hit.
Wow.
Yeah. Great stuff. We loved remaking French comedies. They were all great.
Yeah. I have always been a fan of French comedy. Little known fact about me, one of my comic idols has always been Jerry Lewis, and I appreciate it if we would cover something of his sometime.
A lot of people call you the modern-day Jerry Lewis in your own comedy.
He's not lying. I am, however. I don't care for Jerry Lewis.
Oh, he couldn't keep riffing on this. He had to let the audience understand he does not like Jerry Lewis.
I broke the illusion.
He rules in The King of Comedy.
He's great in The King of Comedy.
Yeah.
He's not the focus, but
I guess
he's not the picture. He's more of the frame.
He also said the famous classic maxim, women aren't funny.
Is that him?
That's him.
I thought that was you.
What are you talking about, Henry?
No, it's true.
I happen to love the great comic stylings of Rebel Wilson. You gotta love her.
Wilson.
Rebel Wilson, the great Rebel Wilson.
How about that comedian who has like 10 Netflix specials, is always pregnant?
Ali Wong. You gotta love her. I saw her in Always Be My Maybe, a great film.
Good stuff there. It's very true. All true.
And who else you got?
That's as much fire, I think, as I need to take right now.
All right. Well, now I want to say that is the dumbest thing anyone's ever said, and and I actually like Ali Wong. I'll talk shit about Rebel Wilson all day, but
I think you're insaner. So yeah.
Sure. Henry, let's get it started. Oh, actually, wait. Jim Cruikshank and James Orr. I was going to talk about them.
Sure.
They are the writers of this film. They were a team. They split up at a certain point. One of them went on to directed such classics as Jim Belushi's Mr. Destiny and Chevy Chase's Man of the House.
Ooh.
Okay?
Eek. Okay.
Sure. But they had some further success as a writing team working on Sister Act 2, Back in the Habit.
Yeah, that was probably a hit.
Probably. I saw it in theaters. I know that much.
I think I did too.
Yeah. In fact, they didn't break up. I was wrong about that. Never mind. They're still working together on Christmas movies. Now, an industry unto itself. Now, do you want to cover our personal top 10 movies of 1987?
I think I think we should do that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you want me to go first?
I'd love nothing more.
All right. Honorable mentions. 1987, RoboCop, The Running Man, Throw Mama from the Train, and Near Dark.
Okay, my honorable mentions, I happen to have some on this old list.
Yeah, me too.
Are Moonstruck, Wall Street, The Stepfather, and Working Girls.
The Stepfather.
I fucking love that movie. We should cover that.
That would be fun. I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's it's like legit, that first one.
Yeah.
Like, it could be on this top 10 list.
All right. Number 10, the great David Mamet written House of Games.
My number 10 is Evil Dead 2.
Okay. My number 9 is Angel Heart.
My number 9 is House of Games.
All right. My number 8 is Lethal Weapon.
My number 8... Oh, I said Wall Street as one of my honorable mentions, but that's number 8. Sorry.
Generally, I always like your mistakes that are frequently made on this list, but that's a good one. Yeah.
All right, what's your number 7?
Fatal Attraction.
Mine is Predator.
That's my number 6.
My number 6 is Radio Days.
All right, here we go.
Over years. These are the grand slams, the slap shots, the three-pointers, the touchdowns, the curling when the puck gets close to the circle. These are the heavy hitters of the franchise. Heavy hitter.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Okay, my number 5 is RoboCop.
All right, my number 4 is Raising Arizona.
And my number 4 is River's Edge.
All right, my number 3 is The Untouchables.
Yeah, right. My number 3 is Raising Arizona.
Okay. My number
2. Jesus.
I was looking at something. Sorry. My number 2 is Wall Street.
Okay, my number 2 is Full Metal Jacket.
And that's my number 1 movie of 1987.
And my number 1
Nice.
is Near Dark.
It's contagious. All right.
All right. Henry, do you have that People's Choice Awards theme?
Son of a bitch.
I don't think we actually have that theme, do we?
You know what? You never ever know. Let me take a quick look. I don't think so. No, I don't. No. No.
Henry, This reminds me. Someone tweeted at me this week that there's a theme song that you did not know you had.
Yes, I saw that tweet, actually. That was from, who's that for? Olivia?
Olivia?
Madison? It was a female.
Yeah, probably.
It was about
Oh, here it is. Here it is. It was Madison. Listen to the old Avengers coverage the other day, and Henry debuted his jingle for the official ranking of the top 10 movies of 2017. So I guess we did that. We covered a movie from 2017, Cult of Chucky, and you didn't play the fucking theme song.
Right, yeah. And I think we've covered movies from 2017 since, obviously. And I believe... what happened was I saw that. I immediately went to my theme songs, and I deleted it.
What?
I had deleted it. She was right. I made it for that particular one. I believe she said I based it on Mozart's 40th.
No,
Brahms, right,
yeah.
right. Dum dum, da-dum bum bum, 2017, something shit like that probably. And I had deleted it.
All right.
So it is gone.
It's lost to the mists of time, or at least to that Avengers episode.
Exactly. I mean, if you like it, you can always
sound clip that baby.
Yeah.
I want to also say, around that tweet, I must have been busy. Chris Berger tweeted, "Best shark movie not called Jaws," and I never responded to that, and I feel bad now. So, Chris, I don't know, what's the best shark movie that's not Jaws?
That's really a question for you.
Yeah. You know what? I love The Shallows.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and say The Shallows. There are many great... What?
More than Deep Blue Sea?
Deep Blue Sea is great. Night of the Sharks is great, okay? You want to watch some great shark movies? You want to watch The Meg. You want to watch 47 Meters Down. Excited about that sequel. We should cover it.
I saw that. Yeah.
But yeah, I think of all of them. And we kind of liked Jaws 2, right?
Did we give that a favorite?
Yeah, we felt pretty good about Jaws 2.
All right. It went off the rails after that.
Yeah.
No, you're right. The Shallows is a competently made film. I saw it in theaters. I wasn't. You loved it.
I've watched that movie twice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I wasn't that huge a fan, but yeah. Anyway.
All right, so there you go, Burke. All right, so back to 3 Men and a Baby. We start with Bad Boys. This is a film that loves the Miami Sound Machine, okay?
Yes, they do. But before that, you were even sidetracked yourself, my friend. You were mentioning the People's Choice Award.
Oh, right. Let's hear that theme.
I don't have one.
Make one up.
All right. Automatic for the people. It's the People's Choice Awards. Automatic for the people. They choose what they like, not what's best, what they like.
Great stuff. 3 Men and a Baby won the Best Picture of 1987.
Sure.
Yeah. Do you know who else? Do you know who else won 5 awards that year, including Best Comedic Talent on Television and Best Comedic Performer of All Time?
No fucking way is it Ted Danson.
Bill Cosby, baby.
Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. Oh.
Just wanted to point that out. All right.
I bet they took those awards away.
No, I think he still got those. The People's Choice Awards, they forget the second they give you.
I don't think you're allowed to have stuff like that in jail cells, though, because you could funnel it down.
Yeah, you can formulate a shiv.
Yeah, I don't think they would give it to the cause.
That's true. Is there any award that can be taken to prison? That's my question to you.
That's right. Isn't there a couple of plexiglass ones?
There must be.
Yeah, that are like see-through. Yeah, maybe they can keep those.
Yeah.
Many celebrities that are currently.
Hey, there are plenty, and more every day.
More every day. Yeah.
All right. I was just reading. I watch old wrestling, and every time I look someone up, they're dead or in prison.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Horowitz.
Barry Horowitz, by the way. I think he's doing okay, actually. Yeah. I just came across him recently, Henry. That's a good pull.
Well, that's where I pulled it.
Oh, right. I brought him up. I fucking forgot. I'm just going to continue to bring up old wrestling stories.
Yeah.
You know, I saw another Barry Horowitz match. They have now added a Jewish star to his wrestling tights.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
1995 WWF. Okay. 3 Men and a Baby. It begins with Bad Boys by the Miami Sound Machine, and we get introduced to our cast. They are all men in their late 30s who are living together in the same Manhattan apartment, and they all have fake movie jobs.
Yeah, that's a nice apartment, by the way. I would take those murals down.
That apartment is huge. They move into like a fucking palace in the second movie, and it's not that much bigger than the apartment.
I agree. I'll take that apartment. It seems to be right on Central Park.
It's right off of Central Park. No problem.
Yeah.
They can walk to Tavern on the Green from that apartment.
So one's a cartoonist, one's an architect, and one is a actor.
A commercial actor. So these are fake movie jobs. These are the kinds of jobs that Hollywood screenwriters think normal human beings have.
Absolutely.
So Tom Selleck is an architect, which in practice means that he is sometimes wearing a hard hat. And every so often is ask someone, "Hey, did you find those blueprints that I was looking for?"
That's right. It gives the excuse to, at one point, put a little pink hard hat on the baby.
That was cute.
It was, and it gives an excuse for the great subplot involving the drugs where they go.
I want to get to that eventually. I'm not even close to the drug subplot of this movie.
I'm aware. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
So Selleck is an architect. Have you seen my blueprints? Check out my blueprints. Sometimes he's holding a tube. You know, he fiddles with a tube in a scene. All right. Then you got, we just got another birthday message. Maddie Rags. He says, "I hope Henry has a great birthday despite this Jersey heat." I guess he's in Jersey. And copped himself some fine wine, black and milds, and refreshing bottle of seltzer to usher in the occasion. Hashtag the dream. Hashtag a fine time to peep Fitzcarraldo.
Well, thank you. The last of those three, I definitely copped, as she says. So thank you very much. That's right. And another Fitzcarraldo suggestion.
That's right. People want you to see it.
Wow, it's really in demand.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about more fake movie jobs. Now, Ted Danson is an actor, but see, the Hollywood screenwriters know if we make him a movie star, he's not relatable. Perhaps even if we make him like the star of a sitcom, that might not be relatable for the people out there. So he's a commercial actor.
Yeah.
Make him very good money. Doing
very
fine.
Good money. Doing fine. You got the world's richest cartoonist in there.
Well, you don't know how rich he is, dude, because the three of them are living together.
Oh, I'm aware, but I mean, the guy who draws Doonesbury,
Gary Trudeau.
He's probably loaded. I don't know how many other.
Come on, Jim Davis, he's loaded.
Gary Larson,
Charles Schultz.
But we're led to believe that all this guy does is writes a strip in the paper. I don't think no. It is definitely a strip in the paper. It looks like a 3-panel strip. Now, the way we show that he's a cartoonist is we sometimes see him, scribbling. It's always it's always inked, but not colored yet. That's how we know it's a work in progress. Right. And he's pretty good at caricatures.
Right, yeah. His character is Mr. Cool. He's a tiger, but he looks just like the Chester Cheetah, the Cheetos mascot.
You're very right about that. Yeah, actually, it's Johnny Cool, I believe.
Johnny Cool, okay, and he wears sunglasses, and when Steve Gutenberg does what he thinks Johnny Cool's voice sounds like, he does sort of an uncomfortable black guy voice. Every so often in this movie, Steve Gutenberg just busts out a tiger puppet and starts going like, "Hey, it's me, Mr. Cool, talking jive."
All right, Chucky's gonna be a bro.
Well, Mr. Cool sure is. And so that's Gutenberg's job. So we got here successful cartoonists, architects, and commercial actors living together. Why are they living together?
I don't know. I can only assume it's for two reasons. 3, they're all cash poor. And 2, they want to have these parties. So it's
they're not cash poor, Henry. These motherfuckers, they can, because they without any problems in the sequel buy a huge house. It looks
that's a good.
Yeah, it looks like it's in like New Rochelle or something.
That's a really good point. I didn't remember that. Yeah.
There's no excuse. And this apartment they're living in, it is just built like a fuck pad. And that's all these guys are doing. They're bringing home ladies and fucking.
Yeah.
Selleck has a girlfriend and they're in an open relationship.
Yeah. I mean, it's,
Danson's fucking every which way in this movie, even impregnating a lady. That's how we get the titular baby.
Yeah.
And Gutenberg, he's got like a girlfriend, but he's not that into her, right?
Right. That definitely seems like the case.
It's sort of like, should we get married? I mean, but he's like, but I want to keep living in this great middle-aged fuck pad with my 2 friends.
And to be fair, the movie ain't shy about just kind of saying that. I mean, it's,
No, that's what the movie's about, Henry.
Yeah.
As much as it's about anything.
Yeah. I mean, the movie's pretty on the surface about what they are and who they are, so I didn't really care. Didn't bother me.
This is Henry softening the blow for when he tells me that this movie's great.
This is semi-true. I mean, all right, so brief history of me in this movie.
I'm ready to hear it.
So I know that when I was a kid, I would have been 9 when this came out. Okay.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that I really, really liked it at the time. And I know that at the time, after being 9 or 10, I probably never saw it again. But for some weird reason, I remembered quite a bit of this movie. So it has definitely been about 30 years.
This is a memorable film. 3 Men and a Baby is the type of film that really imprints itself onto your memory.
I guess as a 10-year-old, it did. I don't know. I don't know what to say. But yeah, I'll say it right here. I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to rebut you right now. Let's just talk more about the movie.
I was pleasantly surprised. And, and I'll address this, Dan. Why not? It's fun. You get me going. It's all cool. It's all good.
Starting to sound like that tiger.
It's all cool, man. The wishing me with the Black and Milds. I've tried my hand at vaping. So
yeah, Henry's over there vaping tonight.
I am. I'm
Before the show, Henry was like, "Don't mention this on air."
Yeah, I didn't want to shatter my my Johnny Cat persona of smoking Black and Mild, but I'm giving it a shot.
That's cool. That's what everyone thinks of you.
Yeah, well, if we were in 1987 and it was a radio show,
then you're just fucking Rush Limbaugh.
Oh no, those would be OxyContins. Yeah, I'm giving it a shot about my vaping. So here we go, everybody. Wish me luck.
Okay. But speaking of nappy-headed hoes, Steve Gutenberg.
What? Oh, is Rush Limbaugh a nappy-headed O?
No, remember that's what.
Oh, yes, right.
Oh, was
right.
that Imus?
No, that was Imus.
Yeah, I fucked up. It was Imus.
Yeah.
Yep, fuck them both.
Bring back Black and Milds for our 200th anniversary show.
Okay. Well, we'll cross that when we come to it. But for now, we're vaping over there in Jersey. Okay.
Right.
So they throw one of these really kicking, swinging parties at their fuck pad, and everyone in town, New York City, is out tonight to party. Okay, there must be so much coke at this party, but we don't see any. And Gutenberg is going through this fucking party with a camera, like. I felt like I was watching the fucking first 20 minutes of Cloverfield.
You remember those cameras, though, right?
Yeah, I had one.
Yeah, sure.
I walked around with it all the time. I've got some great footage of car rides that my family was on.
Daniel, stop it. Daniel, stop it. That's dangerous.
No, I'd be like putting it out the window, zooming in on stuff. I loved the zoom function.
Oh, absolutely. I did too. I wanted to also thank Dan's mom, who sent me a happy birthday.
Is that right? That doesn't surprise me. That sounds like her.
She pretty much does every year. So, very, very, very sweet, and I responded in kind.
And my mother is very thankful to your friendship to me.
Well, that's very lovely. I appreciate that, and as is mine for yours.
I know that. Yeah. Well, my birthday's next week, so let's see if I get a text. Don't tell your mom to text me. I just want to see if I get a text. And if I don't get a text, Henry,
right,
that's it for me and your mom.
You're finished. Yeah,
done.
You're done. You're done. Yeah, she doesn't know how to text, but which I'm also sure you can believe.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. You didn't know how to text until like last year.
That's right. I learned about 9 or 10 months ago.
Sure.
Yeah.
Henry used to text. He didn't know how to put a space between words.
Wait, when was this?
This was back in the Barnes and Noble days.
Right, because I had a flip phone.
Yeah. So he used to send these like bricks of text that were just like a sentence, and you had to figure out where the word breaks were.
It was part of my fun.
Yeah, it's how Christopher Walken studies scripts. So Gutenberg's doing a hilarious bit in this party. A great riff, a classic little turn of the screw to Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, that classic show. But he's making it Lifestyles of the Average and Anxious because he's very self-deprecating.
Yes. This is all true. Everything Dan is saying is true. I can tell where we're going with this review. Which is
so tell me what you thought of this scene.
It's so acceptable to me, though. It's so acceptable. You know, it's so fucking 80s in every conceivable way that I just kind of let go, and I had a good time. I think it's a funny movie. I laughed a few times out loud.
What'd you laugh at? What were some of your favorite lines?
Yeah, and I knew I'd take flack for this, but I don't care. Unfortunately, I don't really remember any lines.
Nor do I.
I did think it was funny when they, we talk about how fucking dumb it is, obviously. When they are attempting on that, as you stated earlier, by the way, what a cute baby. My lord.
It's a very cute baby.
Jesus.
Yeah.
They're trying to put a diaper on this thing, and, hilarity ensues. It's very large.
Tell me what's funny.
That the diaper is too big. Yeah.
Yeah. They try to put this diaper on the baby, but they don't know how to do it. They put it on.
I got to tell you,
There's another in the great genre of men don't know how to do anything.
I knew that was coming. Yes, obviously. Can we all just get that out of the way? Yes, we know it's dated and we're woke now. It's not. I know
It's not a matter of woke. Fucking the dad knew how to cook in My So-Called Life. This is ridiculous. They don't know how to do basic things.
I will say that the things like putting on a diaper or exactly what to feed a baby are viable things.
Did you like that scene with Tom Selleck in a grocery store?
I thought it was funny when the woman asked, "How old is your baby?" and he did not know, and she gave him a very funny look. I thought that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
These things that...
You know who else was in that grocery store, by the way?
Dude, because he's in my superhero count.
Oh, really? That blew me away, dude. Fucking Dave Foley showed up, had one line.
It's like 3 comedic cameos in this fucking movie.
Yeah, but that blew me away because this is 1987. Did the fucking Kids in the Hall even start yet?
They were around when I was living in Canada.
Yeah, they might have been like a local comedy fixture.
No. The TV show was on.
Oh, the TV show was on like CBC or whatever.
Yeah. No, the things that weren't funny were what was.
Do you want to talk about the drug subplot?
Absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
But no, that's not where I was going. I thought what was extremely stupid was they don't know how to, in any way, shape, or form, entertain a baby. So, like Gutenberg is left alone with the baby for like...
That was mind-blowing. Gutenberg's left alone with the baby. He opens up his fucking shirt and asks the baby if it likes his hairy chest.
Right.
It is disgusting. It looks like the beginning of a fucking Jeffrey Epstein video. Is that guy's name?
Yeah. So stuff like that was surprising to me. Why that was so stupid. Like, why these are fucking 3 comedic actor. Well, maybe not Selleck, but he's. You can't, like, in real life, if you're trying to equivocate, I was thinking about, you and me had a similar experience. We both have twin nieces. Now, when they were very young, yours still are, right? I needed to be shown how to change a diaper.
No. I mean, the diaper thing doesn't bother me. I don't need to be shown how to change a diaper, Henry, because I don't change their diapers. I'm not going to do that. I'm not touching my niece's shit.
You wouldn't do that. Wow.
I would never.
Wow.
You couldn't pay me to change my niece's diapers. I am out there fucking with condoms so that I don't have to touch shit. I am out here not owning a dog purposely so I don't have to touch shit. Right.
Well, I love the indirect comparison between a dog and a baby. That I'm loving.
I don't want to touch shit. I love my nieces. But I'm not powdering their buttholes.
Right. I kind of had to learn everything, the circumstances I was in. So for me, I understood some of the confusion. I didn't know what to feed them, what they ate. I needed guidance. But you know what I never needed to learn how to do?
Tell me.
Entertain them.
Yeah, put on a cartoon.
Yep. Always a funny uncle. Always you make little faces. You don't.
Fucking Gutenberg! You've got a little tiger puppet right there.
Sure.
Pull that thing out.
And doesn't one of them is it him that pulls? What is it? He pulls out some sort of fucking book or some sort of plaque or some shit, and he's like, "Oh, isn't this shiny?" or something. It's just that's just ridiculous. That part of that stuff is just ridiculous. It was hard to believe a grown man would behave like that. It was not hard to believe that they wouldn't know other things. Okay. Or a grown woman, for that matter, if she's never been a mother. Am I right? She wouldn't know either.
Oh, we'll get to Nancy Travis.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes. Anyway, I found this to a few scenes were funny, and yeah.
All right. So at this party,
Yeah.
Ted Danson's agent pulls him aside and says, "Hey, I got a package coming for." He doesn't sound like that at all. He's just this guy. He says, "You got a package. Just hold on to it for me for a couple days, and some guys are gonna come for it. Give it to them, and don't tell anybody about it."
Very simple.
So Danson gets a gig in a movie that's shooting overseas in Turkey, which leads to some great jokes like, "I'll bring you back a drumstick."
Absolutely. Yeah. I was as soon as they said
Henry was pissing himself over that line.
That one I was not. No. Yeah, it's funny. I was more thinking that scenes were funny with some interactions between the three of them.
You know why, Henry? Because the three of them are all good.
I guess that's it.
Let's get that out of the way. I'm happy to admit that. Tom Selleck, Ted Danson, and Jim Gutenberg, Steve Gutenberg, they're all super charming, capable comedic performers with very good comic timing.
You kind of just said why I like the movie.
Yeah,
that's pretty much it. They're good together.
Yeah,
yep.
And Selleck's good at a little heart to heart. You know what Selleck's good at? Anytime I see Selleck in something where it's like his tie is loose. It's like the end of the night. His tie is loose, and he's holding a glass of whiskey, and he sounds exhausted. Anytime I see Tom Selleck in doing that in a role, I know I'm in for it. It's gonna be a good scene.
Interesting. Okay.
And he kind of talks like this. He's losing his voice a little bit. And,
he's getting into Alan Quartermain territory.
I never saw that.
Neither did I.
Okay. Three men.
Compensation prize for Indiana Jones.
Yeah. So it turns out that the package that agent was talking about was heroin, because that's what this movie needed. Heroin.
Yeah.
And at the same time, coincidentally, Nancy Travis drops off a baby on their front porch saying, "It's Ted Danson's. I can't do anything. Take the baby." And Ted Danson at this point is overseas in Turkey, leaving the fellas to deal with the package. So they see the baby. They automatically think this is the package that is being referred to, even though, like, a couple hours later, they get another package.
That's true, which one of them just tosses on the couch.
Yeah,
right?
They just forget about it instantly.
They don't. Presumably.
A mysterious package in their apartment.
That's fine. That's nothing. There was a baby.
It could be anthrax. Let's deal with this baby.
Let's deal with the baby.
The lady who delivered that package, by the way, was I want to say maybe Paul Reiser's mom on Mad About You.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was exciting for me. Anytime I see an 80s movie, I want to see a Mad About You cast member.
I understand. I mean, I don't, but I understand why you would.
What, you don't want to see? Maybe Richard Kind, maybe John Pankow.
It makes me so happy to see John Pankow.
It always makes me happy. Oh, baby. Okay. 3 men and a baby.
And a baby.
So it's drug time. Those dudes show up to get the drug package, and they hand off the baby, and they don't know what to do with this baby. They try to put it in the trunk. Selleck realizes, oh my God, this other package. He goes to give it to them and raises their ire when
he trips and it falls out. That's how he discovers.
Very, very funny. And a cop shows up and intercepts this transaction. So these mobsters or what have you are out to get these dudes now, and they ransack the house, put Paul Reiser's mom in some duct tape, but they don't take the baby. The baby's fine because nothing is ever at stake in this movie, and then they manage to lock the mobsters, the drug dealers who are white,
Well, at least there's that.
Yeah.
At least they weren't black.
Well, yeah.
Or Hispanic.
And so they are locked aboard an elevator, and there's literally a moment where Selleck and Gutenberg are like walking away from that situation, and the cops show up, and they're like fucking Batman. They're like, don't worry, he's all tied up for you, officers. Go ahead.
All done. We get a little dancing and drag, not for the last time.
What happens?
Remember, in order to at first evade the Philip Bosco, the great character actor Philip Bosco, who plays the main
officer.
cop. That's right. They have a distraction with Ted Danson dressed as a pregnant lady to lead astray him or the undercovers. And
well, it's definitely better than the Ted Danson dressing up in 3 Men and a Little Lady, but that was terrible. I don't need to see Ted Danson in drag.
No, it was disturbing,
and it's unnecessary. Like, that's a distraction. Like, this lady like walks out of the building, and the cop is supposed to just like be enamored of Ted Danson as this woman, and then they can sneak out like 30 seconds later. That's a plan,
right? Because honestly, the cops probably would have just tailed any of them who left. So Ted Danson probably could have just walked out as Ted Danson.
That's a good point. Split up. We don't need all three of you in this situation.
No, you're all fine. Just you take a walk, Ted, and then we'll go out after you. They'll just be looking at you, and we're fine.
We must be talking about it over an hour into this movie because Ted Danson's back in New York.
That's right. Yeah, oddly enough,
he's just missing for most of this movie.
Oddly enough, Danny, that's one thing I really remembered. I remember when he like disappeared, I was like, oh yeah, Danson's like fucking gone for like half of this fucking movie.
This is a movie called 3 Men and a Baby, in which the 3 men are almost never with the baby.
Yeah.
And we're just tracking Tom Selleck's growing weird interest in this baby while the actual dad is away. Then finally Danson comes back. We get that one bit where Gutenberg and Selleck take their ladies to the opera for some reason. I don't know why.
I don't know what it is. Is it an opera? I couldn't tell. It's at Carnegie Hall, I think, but I didn't know what it was.
Everyone was like in suits. It must have been like a ballet or an opera.
Yeah.
So, then they get worried about the baby, and they rush home because Ted Danson's not answering the phone because he's showering with the baby.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Baby shower.
Yeah. Okay. And what happens next? So we wrap up this fucking mobster, this drug subplot with like a half hour left in the movie, and we never referred to it again. Like, all of this subplot is padding. Nobody in the audience who's going to see a movie called 3 Men and a Baby care about a drug subplot. This is just a distraction. They could only think of an hour for 3 Men and a Baby stuff, so they padded it out with 40 minutes of fucking, weird drug subplot from another movie.
Yeah, I agree. This is kind of in a way, right? Like the quintessential fat on a movie that just needs to go. Like, we've come across it a lot, but this really embodies it, doesn't it?
It has nothing to do with anything. The fucking baby, which is the character in the movie ostensibly we want to protect and care about, is never involved with it she is for like 1 second in that scene outside. And then it's just like a goofy movie about 3 men who have trouble putting diapers onto a child, and we're dealing with this weird heroin subplot.
Yeah.
It is 40 minutes of this movie that you cut right out. And I know you're not left with a feature film, but this is what you got, guys.
Well,
the tone of it is a sitcom anyway. Just air it on television.
I mean, You think it was because A, it was in the wasn't enough
A what?
shenanigans for them to get up to without padding it with the drug plot?
I just think they needed a subplot. They needed some.
Yeah.
That's what they were thinking. They're working on this movie. They need to generate conflict in this movie, but they want this movie to be appealing to everybody in America, so we can't put a baby in danger, right?
Oh.
We can't do that.
Didn't think-
So what conflict can we do? All we can have is conflict that is entirely outside of this sphere. I mean, they could have had like a court case if they wanted Nancy Travis to be more of a character.
That's true. Could have turned into like Kramer versus Baby.
Frankly,
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds terrible too, but I think I'd prefer it to this heroin nonsense.
Well, it would have some logic, though, with this woman who just
It would at least
drops
fit in the movie.
Yeah.
As opposed to the actual ending, when Nancy Travis shows up, decides, I want to be a mother again, takes the kid, and then the three dads are like, well, what if we just all raise it together? And she's like, okay.
Right. It's all...
They pitch her this plan. Like, how about the three of us are all her dad? We're all going to act as her dad, and the four of us are all going to live together in a fuck pad.
And she's like, oh, that sounds jolly good. I like that plan a lot.
You hear what Henry did just now? I said Nancy Travis, and you got a certain idea in your head about this character, but you were wrong.
Yes.
You were wrong.
Yes, you are. And one of my little favorite touches, too, exactly tying into what you're saying, is in her ease with the situation, is, first of all, she's going to live in this situation with the guy that she fucked, right? Okay.
Right. She has fucked Ted Danson.
There's no uncomfortable barriers there. And second of all...
in Three Men and a Little Lady, I assume that they must have a situation where, like, every so often it's late, they're both horny, they fuck.
Absolutely. But I also noted the line when she goes, is there enough room? And I'm thinking to myself, I'm going, well, yeah, I mean, this fucking thing is huge. Obviously, this is like a 10-bedroom Central Park Plaza suite. And they go, we'll build you a room. It's what he does. He builds rooms. And I'm thinking... I'm
Ted Danson. Don't you see these blueprints? I generate buildings.
I think you mean Selleck, but yeah.
Oh, right. Fuck.
So they don't have a spare room for her? That's kind of amazing.
Listen, whatever. I'm sure she could bunk with the child. She's a woman anyway. In the fucking next movie, she's expected to have dinner on the table for all three of these motherfuckers.
Things take a turn.
The second movie's a bachelor dream, right? It's just like three men living a bachelor swinging lifestyle. And oh wait, Nancy Travis is here. Can we get some crudités, please?
You'll love my liver and goose eggs.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. Nancy Travis, quintessential Southern beauty actress.
She is a Southern beauty. Is she? Oh yeah,
she's always doing Southern accents and shit.
Nancy Travis I know pretty much just from So I Married an Axe Murderer. And The Vanishing.
Oh, well, she's been in tons of stuff. I know her a lot from television. She had, like, Almost Perfect. She worked with Danson again. She was on those last few seasons of Becker. Come on, you gotta love Becker. And she's been she's been getting paid to kiss Tim Allen for the last, 10 years in the Last Man Standing. And she was also Bill Engvall's wife on the Bill Engvall Show. That's what Nancy Travis does now. Just fucks shitty comedians that live in the South.
Oh, man. Well, so I assume you're going to talk about her accent.
Well, she's doing a British accent in this movie. And it is not good.
Scale scale of 1 to 5. Scale of 1 to 5. Like our star ratings. Give it a star.
This is baby's not even on the board.
Oh, stop it! She pulls off a couple
No, she doesn't, Henry.
there.
This is one of the most inauthentic accents I have ever seen in a major motion picture.
Major motion picture. It's pretty bad.
It is so, and why cast Nancy Travis? She's in like 2 scenes in this movie, and she's got to do a British accent. Cast a British lady.
Very odd. Yeah, it is a strange choice. Yeah, I don't know. It's a very quizzical choice. Yeah, I don't know.
You couldn't find a British lady? Why does the character have to be British?
I don't know. Why does she have to be British? You know, it's what is it? It's 1987, right?
She's just a struggling actress.
Let's get Helen Mirren over here. She was still not she was huge in England. You could have got her at that point. Let's get
forget Helen Mirren. You could pop any
French.
Juliette Binoche. You don't need a classy. This is 3 men and a baby.
An extra on the set.
Just go into a fucking Woolworths, ask on the loudspeaker if any British people could come to the front, and there's your mom.
Attention, Woolworths shoppers. We're filming a movie on Central Park. If any women could do like a British accent, come to the front aisle.
Oh, and you're playing a person who has fucked Sam Malone from Cheers.
You'll get to star in a sequence with Ted. What's his name? Ted Danyon.
Who do they have doing this?
Cheers.
Oh, I think it's just the guy who's like the
just
manager.
Just a PA? They said, oh, I see. They're asking the manager to do it for them.
Yeah.
He's the only one that's allowed to speak on that loudspeaker.
Obviously, it's the first AD who went over and just said, hey, Lou, can you, and then, so he did it, and, you know.
The first AD's on first name basis with the guy from Woolworths?
Read his name tag.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, you see where it went.
Sure.
Yeah. It didn't work though. They didn't pick that person, whoever that woman may have been.
No, they went with Nancy Travis. I mean, it's insane, dude. They might as well have cast Melanie Griffith.
I'll say this.
They could have cast Rhea Perlman and asked her to do a British accent. That's the equivalent.
I will say that Nancy Travis probably did a better job with a British accent than Melanie Griffith would have.
I think it'd be comparable.
Yeah.
What do you give this movie?
This movie, a 3-star.
Okay. I'll give it a 2. Yeah.
Wow. All right. I found this to be a pleasant experience.
I thought you were going 4.
No, it's a charming movie. You actually touched on something that was pretty much why I liked the movie, which was that I liked the 3 of them together.
They're good.
But a lot of the other stuff is just kind of forced and extraneous. But I do not in any way think it's a terrible movie. I did not know what to expect watching it, and it's a completely pleasant watch.
Here's a question. Which of these 3 actors do you think that you have watched the most in your life?
Ted Danson.
Why?
Because of Cheers, Curb Your Enthusiasm,
right.
Various bits and sundry things. I mean, when I was a kid, I watched I loved Magnum P.I. as a kid, but I'd fuck if I've seen him and watched him in anything since. And Gutenberg when I was a kid, I'm sure I remember loving the Police Academy movies.
Henry, after viewing these 3 men and person movies, I went and watched Police Academy because I was enjoying Gutenberg.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You really enjoyed the Goots. You're going to have to watch it again at some point.
Well, oh my God. Watching it, even just for fun, I was like, I want to watch this for the podcast.
Really?
Yeah, because it was there was so much to talk about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but with him, I think...
Gutenberg dropping that fag bomb. Like, there's no tomorrow, baby.
Hey. Oh man, that's unbelievable. But I believe it. I don't know. What have I seen him in? Fucking Diner. Yeah, I love him in Diner.
He's great in Diner.
I hate the movie Cocoon is horrific, but he's in that.
That is true.
See the guy I was trying? Is he the one in Johnny Five in Short Circuit?
Yeah, I think he's in that.
Johnny Cat, Johnny Cool, and Johnny Five. There you go. Oh, should I tell my quick Steve Gutenberg anecdote?
Do you have a Steve Gutenberg anecdote?
Remember I mentioned...
Oh, right. Say it. Yeah, that's good.
I remember the date very clearly. Some things, as our viewers, listeners know, I cannot remember at all. Generally things that happened a minute to 5 minutes ago. But as Dan knows, I have a pretty good memory for dates. And in March...
It's freakish.
Yeah, it's a little freakish, yeah. In March 2007, I was heading to my 4th gig with the great band Lord Awesome that I had the pleasure of being associated with.
Go ahead.
Waiting for applause or appreciation.
You know they're one of my favorite bands.
I know. And anyway, so I'm on the 1 train, and we were playing at Siberia, a now defunct club bar by the Port Authority. It was a shithole, but I loved it. No running water, great place. On the 1 train, I am there with my then girlfriend, and I'm there with my Gibson SG and my Vox amplifier, and who sits across from me on the 1 train but Steve Gutenberg and his cosmetically enhanced girlfriend.
He's pretty cosmetically enhanced himself these days, dude.
He was even 12 years ago. You know what surprised me when I saw him? Like, I turned to my lady and I said, "That's fucking Steve Gutenberg. That's Steve Fun." She didn't know who it was. But that's all right. He was fucking huge, dude.
No, I know that. I know because I've seen him in recent years. He was on Veronica Mars for a little while, and he was on Party Down. More importantly, playing himself.
Yeah.
And he is like shirtless or in a tank top or something in that episode, and he is so jacked.
He's fucking jacked. Anyway, so great story here. So he leans over to his girlfriend. And he points at my amplifier, which was a Vox at the time, and he goes, "That's a really good amplifier. I used to play one of those." Yeah.
All right, that's what you watch the show for, gang. More detailed versions of stories you've already heard.
That's correct. And so when I went to the gig that night, I told that little anecdote in a much faster fashion as time was of the essence.
I hope so.
And I got to tell you, probably because they were drunk, but the crowd went wild. They loved it. Yeah.
Okay. Great stuff. Great stuff. Who's your MVP of 3 Men and a Baby?
Tom Selleck.
MVP Men and a Baby. Went with Selleck. I love to hear it. That's a good choice.
He was my favorite one. I liked him a lot in this movie.
He was your favorite of the 3 men? Is it because he's the lead?
That's right.
Boy. You know what? I'm going to go with the baby.
You're going with the baby?
Yeah, the baby was cute.
I would have gone with Steve Gutenberg. He inspired you to watch another movie. I mean, that's pretty powerful.
I mean, that is pretty good. But I think it was more his fine work in 3 Men and a Little Lady.
Oh. All right, fine. So you're going with the baby.
I think I'm looking at the cast right now. And I think I got to stand by it. I'm going with the baby.
Baby. All right. LVP, since you picked a baby as the MVP, I don't feel bad about my LVP, which is written in clear red ink on LVP. And that is 2 words, and they are drug plot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's it. There is your answer. I was gonna say Nancy Travis, but that's better. Yeah, the Nancy Travis is the worst performance in the movie, but that drug subplot is fucking useless.
Yeah.
Okay, Henry. What about the superhero count?
Oh yes, and I'm sure you'll be relieved to know, audience know, because they love this shit. But you will. 3 Men and a Little Lady has no count, but 3 Men and a Baby does have 6.
Okay, let's hear that theme.
Yeah, I was just pulling it up here. All right, and here we go. Special birthday edition of the Superhero Count took me 90 minutes.
Love it.
All right, that was good for me too, because I got to take a hit on my vape.
What a huge week for superhero movies. Marvel announced their next 36 movies and their next 12 television shows. And have you heard anything about this?
I heard that Marvel had released a bunch of stuff. Today I actually saw that on CNN, but I didn't bother to look up what it was.
Okay, well, they made this announcement at Comic-Con, and I'm going by memory, so I might forget some of them, but they're making a Black Widow movie. They are gonna go ahead and
Good job. Good job.
They're making Doctor Strange 2,
Sure.
Madness in the Asylum, or something like that, and it's gonna be like a scary Doctor Strange movie. Then they're making a new Thor movie, Henry, and it's gonna be Natalie Portman's gonna come back, and she's gonna be Thor.
Whoa! All right.
You'll be loving that. Then they're gonna they're doing the Eternals.
Okay,
and that's gonna have Angelina Jolie among others.
Oh, great.
Okay. Then you've got Mahershala Ali is going to play Blade.
Wow. Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
All
right, who else? We've got a Hawkeye TV show with Jeremy Renner. We've got a Captain America and the Falcon TV show with, Anthony Mackie is the new Captain America. Or I don't know what the fuck it is. Anyway, there's a Loki TV show.
Yeah, it ain't gonna have Tom Hiddleston in it.
Yes, it is.
Really?
Yeah, Marvel could do anything.
No, I know. I'm just two things are surprising me here. I guess it shouldn't be that surprising that either thing I'm thinking are surprising aren't. One, that they are not at all finished with these characters. They're not at all done. And two, that these actors made so much fucking money and made a lot of their careers out of it. Why wouldn't they continue, right?
Yeah, keep it going, gang.
I keep thinking about like Downey, and I'm like, oh, he's done. So maybe he isn't. Who fucking knows?
So they announced like 1,000 movies, and then at the end they were like, oh, and we didn't even get to Guardians 3, Captain Marvel 2, the new Spider-Man movie, and also Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
They're still trying. Oh, they're mixing them up with the X-Men.
Yeah, that was like the announcement, basically, that Fox is giving up their quest.
Oh, I can't do it.
Well, whatever. Disney owns Fox anyway, so they're gonna fold those in.
Well, dovetailing into that, Ted Danson is in my superhero count.
Let's hear it.
He was in the 1979 The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay, that's very weird. Yeah, I'd love to see that.
Played Major Collings.
Sure.
Margaret Collin, who was Selleck's squeeze
pro-lifer,
was played a character named Taylor Reese in the show Gotham.
Still working today, still getting work despite her hateful views. Okay,
absolutely. Celeste Holm, who played Ted Danson's mother. Remember that scene?
No, I frankly don't.
When he begs her to babysit, and she says, no, it's a you're on your own kind of thing.
I still don't remember that.
All right. she played Dolly Tucker in the Linda Carter Wonder Woman TV show.
Okay.
All right. So far, those are the live-action ones. I got 3 more. Nancy Travis, was in the cartoon, which I believe was based on a comic book, right, from Dark Horse, and that is Duckman.
Yeah. Oh well, she was the one of the main voices in the Duckman TV show.
That's why it says Bernice Beverly Beatrice. Okay.
Yeah.
You. And she was in
I watched the shit of that Duckman show. It used to be on right after Weird Science, the TV show, and that was a great lineup for me.
All right. She was also in Superman the Animated Series playing Darcy Mason. Okay.
Oh, I thought she was playing Captain Britain.
She played Chief Daily News Correspondent.
Ugh.
Darcy! Okay. Paul Guilfoyle. You recognized him in this movie, the main drug dealer guy who's a pretty famous character actor. He's in a lot of shit.
Oh, yeah, right. I forgot there's like a higher-up drug dealer, like the Kingpin we have to deal with for a couple minutes in this movie.
Yeah. He was Lieutenant Welker.
Time, baby. Wasting time.
Yeah.
Lieutenant Welker, what, in RoboCop?
That's right. No, he's Frank Welker's son.
What?
That's not true.
Oh.
He is Lieutenant Welker in Howard the Duck, and he is a character named in Justice League Unlimited called the Warlord.
Sure.
Not the Warlord, the Warlord.
Well, maybe it's a Bizarro world.
There you go.
Yeah.
Finally, last but not least, Dave Foley played Francis in The Tick.
Oh, yeah, he sure did. That's like a major role, too, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
He played, weirdly enough, another character named Francis. He played Francis Gray in the cartoon The Batman. And in the recent Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, he played a character named Bull Hop.
Maybe he's a bull, like an anthropomorphic bull.
It sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And, that's it for the superhero count. We did not mention the two other comedians.
You can defeat him with a red shirt.
Wow, that was a fucking Henry joke. If I ever... Jesus Christ.
I'll tell you who's not defeating Bull Hop.
Who's that?
Billy Crystal. Watch out for that butt, Billy.
I come 200 miles to do Pamplona in my rear end. That's just some of the quality.
I enjoyed that very much.
From City Slickers, yes. By the way, City Slickers is not very good. And also, we didn't mention you see Colin Quinn.
I think City Slickers is better than 3 Men and a Baby.
I disagree.
It's got stakes.
Yeah, well, we both gave
the cast is better in this.
We gave that a semi decent.
I think I gave them both 2s, but I think City Slickers is probably the better movie.
I don't know. Anyway, you remember the Colin Quinn, and did you see Mario Joyner?
Yeah, I did see Mario Joyner. There's some weird like old New York stand-up scene people in this movie.
And guess what, Dan? I saw Mario Joyner live when I saw Chris Rock. He opened for Chris Rock in 97.
Yeah, 97. That sounds about right. That was the time of Mario Joyner.
Yeah. What was that thing he was on all the time? Was it an MTV show?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Mario Joyner was big. It's on something in the early 90s. I remember him. He hosted something. Listeners.
You can't do that on television?
Yeah, that was it. He was in charge of dumping the green bile on people's heads.
Yeah. 3 Men and a Little Lady. You want to talk about it?
Sure.
Okay, it's got a new director, Henry. By the way, magical 3-year window. Almost 3 years to the day from the release of 3 Men and a Baby. November 21st, 1990. And we have a new director who we have covered before on this show, Henry.
We have. I couldn't even believe my eyes. When I saw the name, I was like, I know that name. Yeah, that's a famous guy. He's like does a lot of Italian or French films, something like that, right?
Well, I wouldn't speak about him in the present tense because he died in 1993 of AIDS.
Okay.
Henry, don't we have a theme song for that?
Oh, my God. No, but we do have a joke which is God, it's kismet, Dan. You say that, and I remember the one joke Mario Joyner told live when I saw him. Are you ready for it?
I am.
Wouldn't it be crazy?
Don't do that voice. Don't do the voice.
I didn't do the voice. I said, wouldn't it be crazy?
Okay.
You want me to do the inflection?
Don't do the voice.
The voice. Okay. Wouldn't it be crazy if the cure for AIDS was flat Pepsi? That was the Mario Joyner joke.
It's a pretty good joke. I kind of like it.
I gotta tell you something. Got a big laugh at the time. I was one of the people laughing.
I think it's funnier today.
It's very fucking funny. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Mario Joyner and the connection to that awful death. But when I did on Emil Ardolino, that's immediately what I thought. And then when I hit the click, I was like, oh, I know who he is.
You sure do. So his first movie, of course, was Dirty Dancing, which we have covered on this very show, and is better than both City Slickers and 3 Men and a Baby, I would argue. Then he followed that up with Chances Are, which kind of tanked, I think. Well, that was Sybil Shepherd situation.
Yeah, she made the big leap to the screen.
Right, RDJ, Robert Downey Jr. in that, too.
Left right back.
To Sybil. And then he did 3 Men and a Little Lady. See, that's what you do, Nimoy. You have a movie that fails, you go direct one of these pieces of shit.
There you go. Yeah.
All right, he followed that up with Sister Act, Henry.
Right. Yes.
This guy was a hit maker. And then he followed that up with The Nutcracker, which was like half stage, half screen adaptation. It was very weird. I saw it in theaters.
Really?
Yeah, it was like you're a kid. They're putting out The Nutcracker. You go see it.
Yeah. I've seen 3 of this guy's fucking movies. That's crazy.
You're a big Emil Ardolino fan. Yeah, I've seen the same 3.
Jesus. All right.
Oh, I've seen 4, actually, including The Nutcracker.
Nutcracker, yeah.
All right, so he directs this movie. We also have a new writer. No word on why we couldn't get Crookshank and Orr.
They were occupied.
I don't know if that's true. So our new writer is Charlie Peters. And I don't know anything about this guy. But I'm looking at his work right now. And wow, he has written some of the most insane bad movies ever. I actually love this guy. He takes big swings.
Uh-oh.
All right, so he writes, Blame It on Rio, Henry.
That was a fun little movie.
That is a magical summer romp.
Michael Caine.
It is Michael Caine.
There's one listener who loves my Michael Caine impression.
All right, we'll keep it going for that guy.
Yeah. No, it's a female.
Oh, wow. That blows my mind.
Maybe she likes Michael Caine.
Maybe. So he follows up Blame It on Rio, this wonderful writer, Charlie Peters, with the all-time classic Bobcat Goldthwait talking horse comedy, Hot to Trot.
Holy shit.
Which I have seen more than once.
I completely believe that. I don't think I've ever seen that. No.
All right, he follows it up.
What? Were any of these in your adulting days?
No, they have not been.
Well, I didn't know. I thought maybe it was one of your go-tos, late night.
I'm drunk. Let's put on something stupid. Hot to Trot.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah, Hot to Trot. It's on to trot.
Hell yeah. He follows that up with Her Alibi, where he forges a great relationship with Tom Selleck, the star of that movie. And maybe that's how he gets this job.
I bet you think that I love the movie Her Alibi.
I don't know anything about that movie.
Yeah, I never saw it. But I just thought you would think I'd like it because I think it's like 89 or 90, and it's, like one of them fucking shitty, middling action lawyer movies.
Sounds good. I'll watch it.
You might. I don't know.
Then he writes 3 Men and a Little Lady. But listen to these 2 other credits, 2 movies that I adore. My Father the Hero, of course. I mentioned it already in this episode.
Oh, my God.
The great Katherine Heigl at 13 years old being super sexy in a slim bikini and talking about fucking her dad. Great comedy. He then followed that up with one of my all-time favorite movies, Henry, Krippendorf's Tribe.
Oh, that's Dreyfuss, right?
Dreyfuss in blackface.
It's Richard Dreyfuss.
Yeah, Richard Dreyfuss in that movie claims that he has discovered a tribe of Africans that nobody knows about. And so to fake that he discovered them, he and his family and his assistant, Jenna Elfman, all dress up in like African garb and put on blackface.
Is Billy Crystal in it?
Nope, just Dreyfuss, blackfacing it up.
I bet Billy Crystal was very annoyed at that.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
I'm sure he wanted that role.
For sure, if that if that screenplay dropped on Billy Crystal's desk, he's taking that role.
Hit me all over that, baby.
I think an agent got fired for his absence from that film. Okay. I watched it kind of recently.
From New York, I could be in Krippendorf's Tribe.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so
Oye is right.
so let's talk about this movie. Oh, it came in at number 15 at the box office.
Wow.
It made $71.6 million, so it did very well. Okay.
Jesus. Wow.
And
what was its budget?
We don't know. We don't know. The first one cost $11 million. They probably had bigger salaries in this one. Probably 15, 16, 17.
Great math there. I like it. I'll take it.
Yeah. It came right in between two other unnecessary sequels, Henry. It made a little bit less than Another 48 Hours. And a little bit more than The Godfather Part 3.
Ooh. Which we've covered.
Which we certainly have covered.
If you're new to the show, welcome and listen to the Godfather coverage. Thank you.
That's right. So in this feature film, we catch up with our crew. Mary, the baby, is now a little moppet.
Little moppet who carries around in her pocket a list for the best films of 1990.
Oh, right. Okay. What's your number 10?
Misery.
We've done this so many times. Mine is Crybaby.
I've done it so many times. Number 9 is Total Recall.
Mine is...
You like that, huh?
I did. Mine's The King of New York.
My number 8 is Revenge.
My number 8 is Arachnophobia.
My number 7 is Mel G's Hamlet.
My number 7 is Misery.
My number 6 is Wild at Heart.
My number 6 is Edward Scissorhands.
All right. Everyone's entitled.
Heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters, Vincent and Theo.
My number 5 is Henry, A Portrait of a Serial Killer.
Aw, just for my birthday. Thank you so much. Number 4, Jacob's Ladder.
Mine is Mo Better Blues.
Number 3 is Dances with
You know they're doing a black Jacob's Ladder.
Really?
Yeah, I read that this weekend.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's like already been made. Like it's going to come out like later this year.
Yeah, it's called Jacob's Ladder. There's quite a few black characters in that movie.
Wait.
Weird.
Yeah.
Fucking Forrest Whitaker's in that, and several guys from Platoon.
Yeah, but now Jacob is.
Okay.
I don't care. The fellow with the titular ladder.
Hey, man. I love Jacob's Ladder. So
here it is, Jacob's Ladder. It looks like Jesse Williams from Grey's Anatomy is in it.
Who's directing it, is my question.
David M. Rosenthal, Henry. He directed such films as The Perfect Guy.
I think I'm going to pass.
A Single Shot. All right.
Is that with Sam Rockwell?
Yes, it certainly is. How the fuck do you know that movie?
Because I saw it. Yeah.
Is it good?
I enjoyed it, as I recall. Yep.
All right. Henry's on board with the new Jacob's Ladder.
No, I'm not. But I did like A Single Shot. I thought, if it was some great filmmaker, I'd be excited. But
sure, but it's not. My number 3 is Wild at Heart.
My number 3 is Dances with Wolves. Yours is Wild at Heart.
Oh, Henry, you're so silly.
Yeah, I know Edward Scissorhands. Number 2 is Miller's Crossing.
Yeah, mine too.
And number 1 is Goodfellas.
Yep, mine too. Okay, 3 Men and a Little Lady. How does it start? We catch up with them. They're all living together in this giant house. They're all taking care of her. Nancy Travis is cooking dinner, no problem. Get that dinner on the table, Travis. Beans and mash. Thank you very much. And then we they all still have the same jobs. I think Ted Danson's like a more famous actor now.
No, he's just a more...
That's right. No, he's still working the commercial circuit at this point. Nancy Travis is doing pretty well, though, in the acting arena. She's on Broadway.
She's doing Shakespeare, and yeah.
Well, I don't think she is at the beginning. She's just in some play, and her boyfriend's the director. And then the director wants to take her overseas to be in A Midsummer Night's Dream, to her native land, to Nancy Travis's native country of England. Okay? Boy, this movie's even worse because you get to see her talking to actual British actors.
Oh God.
God, can you imagine? That must have been so embarrassing for her.
I feel bad for her, actually. She must have been over there, and people were just on set.
They filmed this fucking thing in England, and they have Nancy Travis doing a British accent.
Fiona Shaw on this movie, who's a very good actress. She's great. One of the best parts of My Left Foot.
I'll tell you what she's not one of the best parts of. 3 Men and a Little Lady.
Yeah, I totally agree. But, they're probably walking around set going, oh, my Lord, this Nancy, what's her face? She's got this American, it's disgraceful. It was a King's English. The British.
That's what a lot of this movie is, then, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's like stuck-up British people.
That creepy boyfriend, man. I did not care for him.
The boyfriend? I actually was siding with him for most of the movie.
Were you now?
Until he, slaps the kid and shit. They had to make him, extra evil. But, for most of the movie, I am genuinely in love with Nancy Travis. She has a kid, but we'll deal with it. Let's bring her over to England and marry her. She's in this awkward, weird situation where she's living with these 3 fucking 40-year-old weirdos.
Yeah.
So, let's do it. And
because he can compete with Tom Selleck and Ted Danson.
Well, he can. He has a castle. He moves them into fucking Downton Abbey.
Just gonna say that. Fuck. Yeah.
I'm pumped for that movie, by the way.
Joke. Yeah, I didn't. I dropped out of the Abbey. I believe 2 or 3 seasons in.
That's fine. I think you can jump back in with this one. I'm serious. It did get bad in those last few seasons, but I've got high hopes for this movie.
I have seen Dan Stevens in 2 excellently fucked up movies since then.
And he was great on he's Legion and Legion.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I told you about The Guest. I told you should watch that.
The Guest. Right. I get it mixed up with The Gift.
That's a Henry pick, and the Netflix movie The Apostle is also fucking awesome.
I already saw it. It was Robert Duvall. Great. So 3 Men and a Little Lady. So whatever. They're all running around doing wacky shit. They're taking the kid to school, whatever. And she's acting in this play, and should I be with this guy? I'm not that into him, but he seems like a nice guy, and he's going to give me a great opportunity. And
got really bad hair, but that's all right. Maybe I can suggest a haircut later on, that kind of thing.
Sure. So she decides, I'm going to marry this guy. I'm going to move over there to England, and I am going to tell these men. And so he does. Ted Danson, we're not going to deal with his reaction. He's only the father of the baby.
No.
So let's just shunt him off to, Mexico or something.
Right, he goes down, I believe, to South America somewhere. Yeah. Or he's dressed like Chiquita Banana.
Yeah, I'll bring you back a sombrero.
There you go. Yeah, let's gussy him up in some bananas and fruits for a hat.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He's just like a Carmen Miranda get-up on.
Right.
Sure. But what we have to deal with is Tom Selleck, this tangential person who has never been with Nancy Travis and has no relation to the baby whatsoever.
And has a very excruciatingly hard time telling her that he is in love with her.
Yeah, well, that's the subplot of this movie. From the very beginning of the movie, we are shown to see that Ted Danson is now in love with the Nancy Travis character.
Again, Tom Selleck. Boy, you really think those two look alike, don't you?
What did I say?
You keep.
I said Ted Danson. Fuck no, Selleck is in love with her, Dr. Richard Burke from Friends, and he can't tell her, even though he is awesome and she's clearly in love with him, and nobody else in that living situation seems to mind whatsoever. And she would like to stay in New York if possible anyway.
Yeah, it all could have been worked out in the first 8 to 9 minutes.
But we need a movie, so Selleck's going to agonize over this. At first, he's not even going to realize that he's in love with her, and then once he does, he cannot tell her. So that is the main arc in this movie. Steve Guttenberg's just kind of around. This is a Tom Selleck production of a Tom Selleck film, written by Tom Selleck's own personal writer.
Yeah.
It is just very, very weird. And so eventually he has to follow her to England. They move to England, and Danson is like, "Good, we're moving to England. We're not moving. We're just going there." And because I sense something is wrong. I have no proof, but I have a feeling.
Right. Again, you fucked up it again. It's okay.
I said Danson again?
Yes, Selleck and Gutenberg go to London for the wedding. Danson arrives much later because he's on shoot.
Much later.
On set.
An excruciatingly Dansonless period of this film.
Yeah.
I read that he actually, Danson, this was a thing not in the script. He opted out. He was like, he said he was taking a vacation with his family somewhere, and he could only film like for 2 weeks or something, and all his scenes had to be shot in L.A.
You think he was lying because he didn't want to be in the movie?
Who the fuck knows? But I can confirm that all the British shit was shot in England, except for when Ted Danson shows up, where they had to shoot in L.A. because he insisted.
And they have better makeup studios.
I mean, look, at this point, Ted Danson has to be in season 9 or 10 of fucking Cheers. Like, he only gets off in the summer months. He has to film 24 of these every year.
That's a good point.
Give him a fucking break. He's got to be in 3 Men and a Little Lady. That's going to help his career?
No, it's a good point. It's a good point. He's probably Selleck and Goots were like, come on.
Oh, Selleck was desperate for this movie.
Yes. Come on, Ted. Let's get the gang back together. We got Emil. He did Dirty Dancing. That was a hit.
We got Emil. That's the selling point. Hey, we got the guy who did Chances Are. You got to sign on for this, baby.
Come on. Yeah.
All right.
You can break away from Whoopi Goldberg for a hot minute.
Oh, that's right. He was fucking Whoopi Goldberg. That is crazy. I'll never get over that as long as I live.
Showed up in blackface at one time. Remember that?
Yeah, and then she showed up in whiteface at the Oscars.
Ooh.
Remember that?
All right.
Great stuff. All right, so they go to England, Henry. And can I just break in to say something now?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand this situation that any of these characters are in.
Okay.
All right? Because I don't know that it's possible for a human being to stand a baby that is not their own for longer than a couple hours.
Yeah.
They are choosing, because in this movie it's established too that they're not allowed to bring women back to this house.
That's true.
All right,
That's
so
true.
they were living this glorious glorious but
Right.
sad bachelor existence in this fuck pad.
In a fuck
And
pad.
then they move in this weird lady with a shaky accent, and like that's our lives now. We're just taking care of this strange baby.
Not
Like, look,
great.
Danson's the dad, fine. Tom Selleck, he falls in love with Nancy Travis. Why is Gutenberg still there? Get out of there, dude. There's even a scene in this movie where Gutenberg's trying to get his fuck on. And the
Yeah.
kid comes, walks in.
I think it's an economic thing. I think they really just want to be where they are and stay in New York, and they got to pool their.
They're not even
scant
in
resources.
New York anymore. They act like they're in Manhattan, but they're in this fucking mansion at this stage.
Well, yeah. I don't know. I mean, the only one who has a steady living really is Selleck, right? He's an architect. They pull in the big
Listen.
bucks.
He's got blueprints. We know that he's an architect, so he must be making a lot of money. He even says, we know that he's a successful architect at one point too, because he describes his job. He says, "I build buildings. I create cities of the future." And I'm like,
I can
that's
certainly
how
change
architects
that.
describe their jobs? I build cities of the future? What cities are you building? Where are these new cities?
He's in Casper, Wyoming.
God. I don't see
where
cities sprouting up all over the place.
I think we could use him down here where I live. I could use some tall buildings here. Yeah.
Okay. So, Henry, maybe just move back to New York. That's besides the point.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
I know you don't. Okay. So, anyway, now that that's off my chest, they go to England.
What, me coming back to New York or Tom Selleck or both?
Both.
Okay.
So they decide there is something wrong. He's not that nice to her. And also, he is trying to put her away in a boarding school run by Fiona Shaw.
Yeah. Who, I gotta say, in this movie, she was the one I felt the most sorry for.
It is embarrassing.
It really is.
It really
Yeah,
is.
I mean,
Her
she's
function
what
in this
she's told
movie.
to do.
So they tell her that Selleck is into her or something,
Yeah.
right? They lie to her.
The husband, the soon-to-be, the fiance tells her, yeah.
Right,
yeah,
they
it
want to
was-
distract Selleck from any nefarious goings-on. He's going to, investigate this guy and rip off his mask at the end and say, if it wasn't for you meddling kids. So, Selleck, Tom Selleck, I've got it. They're distracting him with Fiona Shaw, and Fiona Shaw's function in this movie is immediately she is desperate to fuck Tom Selleck.
Very
Desperate. And it just goes on and on like that. I thought it was going to be a one scene thing. Like Fiona
Yeah.
Shaw, because at first it doesn't wear out its welcome. She's like a swarthy woman who's
Right,
fucking desperate for Selleck's dick. That's a little
Right.
bit they're doing.
She's a very randy person. Yes, a very randy woman. Yes.
But then it continues on. She keeps showing up, and why? And Selleck's just hanging out with her all the time.
Yep.
Dude, you don't have to hang out with this person. If Selleck was just like, "Hey, I don't want to fuck you," that would have ended it. It gets to the point ultimately where she finds him hiding in a closet. She tries to fuck him. She jumps on him. She puts him on a table. She tries to take his pants off. He's yelling no at this point because this is becoming a rape. And still she won't stop. He literally has to forcibly remove her from his dick and explain that actually I don't want to fuck you.
Oh my god. Which also is a very big character inconsistency because Selleck, he's not mean enough to just tell Fiona Shaw, I'm not interested, but he is mean enough to break Nancy Travis's heart and have her move 5,000 miles away. That's no problem there.
Right. So on the day of Nancy Travis's wedding, he realizes that he's in love with her and goes racing to the wedding with Fiona Shaw for some fucking reason, who just tried to rape him.
Yep.
In the sidecar of a motorcycle.
Real Waking Ned Devine style.
Very, yeah, because it's England. Let's do it.
At this point in the movie, I mean, I had already checked out for a while. It's just not working like the first one. But this thing...
Right, the first one worked, man.
You're damn right it did. At this point in this movie, this is really exhausting and irritating. And that chase went on and on and on.
It really did. This movie is like a couple minutes longer than the first one, and there's no reason. There's even less plot.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I had never seen this movie before.
Uh-huh.
And the critics were right.
The critics were right. Did it get bad reviews? I didn't look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, yeah.
All right,
mean,
so,
first...
wait, so I'm not done. Selleck is racing to this wedding, so who do we need to distract and make the wedding run long? That's right, Ted Danson. He's going to dress up in old age makeup like he's fucking Mrs. Dow. I mean, he looked disgusting.
You know who he looked like?
Who?
You remember in Poltergeist 2?
I'm not going to remember this.
And 3, the guy in the like black trench coat and the hat with the white hair. That's who he looked like.
You know who he looked like, dude? Dan Aykroyd in Nothing But Trouble.
That's good too. There you go. That's a horrible fucking movie.
Yeah, it sure is. He also looks a little bit like Russell Crowe as Roger Ailes in this new Showtime show.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah,
you watching that?
Yeah, it's great. It reminds me of Social Network a little bit. So he is just repulsive in this character, and it's going on and on because that's the game of the scene, is he's making the wedding last a really long time.
He is pretty creepy.
So he's droning on and on. It's not funny for a single second. It is repulsive. I am gagging on my fucking spit. And this motherfucker... And then he also rips off the makeup at the end of the wedding, which is even grosser. He just ripping his fucking face off. He starts with an ear. So then you got this disgusting Ted Danson character just ripping his own ear off.
Yeah, he looks like Lon Chaney or something.
And it fools Nancy Travis.
Oh, of course.
The whole time he's doing this at the wedding, because he's so obviously Ted Danson that I'm like, okay, so he's fooling the fiance because he doesn't really know him, and Nancy Travis is probably wondering, like, what the fuck is going on? But no, she didn't realize. Ted Danson's commercial actor character is such an amazing actor that he can fool somebody who he lives with into thinking that he's an elderly British preacher. Maybe she didn't recognize his terrible accent because it mirrored her own.
I was going to say, I thought maybe she was, when Nancy was trying to learn her lines in the accent, she was focusing so much on the accent and her lines, she was not paying attention to what was happening in front of her.
That's a good theory, Henry. What do you give this movie?
1 star.
Me too. I want to say that we didn't mention the scene where, in the first one, they sing a doo-wop song to the kid, which is another great example of writers from a certain era putting shit that they like into a movie.
Very true. Yeah. Everybody loves the 50s.
Right. So Tom Selleck, Ted Danson, and Steve Guttenberg are all just like,
good night, sweetheart. Well, sing with me. Time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must say
All right, whatever.
Well, that's when you come in, but that's
Oh,
all
I
right.
didn't
You
know.
did.
I didn't know. So that is what they do in that movie. So in the second one, we need to recapture that magic. So we have them rapping.
Oh my God, I forgot about that completely.
Okay, so
Holy
Steve Guttenberg's wearing a sideways baseball cap, and Ted Danson has a Flavor Flav clock around his neck. And they're rapping to Mary, and they're doing a black voice, and they're talking. They keep referring to talking jive, which is the worst. And at one point, I think it's Ted Danson mimics a turntable and starts going wiki wiki wiki.
Oh, he does. That's right. Because when he did that, I thought of Wiki Wild, and yeah.
I was losing it, Henry. This is the funniest part of either of these movies. It's incredible.
You don't have to do this to entertain a tiny child.
Throw a Barbie at her face.
Give her a creepy doll named Sabrina who will go with her everywhere. Remember that weird speech that Danson gives her? He's like,
that was really weird.
You take Sabrina everywhere you go, and it'll be like I'm there because I'm in her. What?
I'm in her.
All right.
All right, buddy. Why don't you show me your hairy chest again, and after that you could explain to me what a penis is.
That conversation was in the movie, too.
Yeah. Okay. It's a 1. Who's your MVP, Henry?
I'm actually going to go with Mary. The kid.
The kid? Oh, well, I went with the baby in the first one. Maybe I'll go with the kid again.
Kid's fine, dude.
The
She's
kid's
all
all right in this movie. She's pretty cute. I'm looking at the board. You can't give it to Danson. Oh, you know what? Just because I love him. I'm going to give it to Jonathan Lynn, who played the actual guy who was supposed to be the priest or the vicar at the wedding.
Interesting.
Okay.
He was going to be my LVP.
Really?
But, well, I just hated the character was just so fucking boring and annoying.
Well,
and
I was just
stock.
amused to see this guy because it's weird. He's a director, and
Right.
he had like an actual part in this movie. And he's the great Jonathan Lynn who wrote and directed Clue, the movie, and of course, Nuns on the Run.
Is that right?
Yeah.
He's dead.
Jonathan Lynn?
I think so.
Um,
Check it out.
no, he's not.
You sure about that?
Yeah, he's 76.
He's 76?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Well, somebody's dead in this movie. All right, anyway.
All right, who's your LVP?
I'm changing it up because of our discussion, which often happens. And, Fiona Shaw.
I can't believe I'm not giving Nancy Travis LVP in either of these movies, but Fiona Shaw is the LVP of this movie. That character is so hard to watch.
It's really painful. It's really, really bad. Yeah.
All right, so the first one's better than the second one. We're wrapping up our 3 Men and a Baby coverage, and that was very fun, Henry.
It was fun. I didn't find. The second movie was kind of painful, yes, but I enjoyed the first movie.
I didn't enjoy either of them, but both of them were perfectly watchable.